Hello mga ka-OFE! Magandang umaga, hapon o gabi at kung saan man po kayo naroroon dito sa mundo. So para po sa mga bago lang sa aming community, kami po ang Overseas Filipino Entrepreneurs, isang platform na nagbibigay ng kaalaman at inspirasyon sa bawat OFW pagdating sa mindset, pag-i-invest at pagnenegosyo. So ang mission po namin dito is of course tulungan ang mga OFW natin na maging isang OFE. So, di ba, from working abroad to building a brighter future through entrepreneurship. And of course, andito rin po kami to remind you not to forget to subscribe to our social media pages. Yan, ang ating Facebook and YouTube for more episodes and updates. Yan, pwede nyo pong i-scan ang QR code in screen. Yan, para mabilis kayong makapag-subscribe and follow sa ating social media pages. And with that, welcome sa ating episode 14 of Season 8. Tara na at simulan na natin magkwentuhan. Ayan, ako po si Cheska, ang inyong co-host today. At kasama ko po si
Carl, ayan. Ako ang magiging tito for today, di ba? Ako host ni Cheska. So, ayan, Cheska. Kamusta ba, Cheska? Kamusta ang week natin?
Ayun, medyo naguguluhan tayo sa panahon ng Pinas, to be honest, kasi uulan, tapos aaraw ng aaraw ng matindi. Pero, thank God, kasi nakaka-survive naman. Diyan ba, Tito Carl?
Well, parehas lang. Halos kaparehas din naman sa Pilipinas, And yun nga, so ingat-ingat lang. Medyo uso ang sakit. And yun nga,
Yes.
paiba-iba yung panahon. So, we have to stay fit, di ba?
Yes. Talagang, no? Vitamins kung vitamins tayo ngayon. Anyway, bago tayo mag-proceed sa natin, Tito Carl, sa bago nating pagkikwentuhan, sa bago nating kasama for today's video, gusto ko lang mag-recap dun sa last week natin na episode. So, super nakakatuwa siya. And kasama natin doon si Miss Raisa Ann Tongol, which is isang nurse sa UK at founder ng Templado UK. So, talagang binahagi niya po doon kung ano yung naging journey niya bilang OFW, tapos naging entrepreneur siya. And syempre, paano niya nababalanse yung career, pamilya, at yung negosyo. Actually, browse ko din sila sa social media and nakita ko na talagang kaya pala siya Templado UK kasi dinala nila yung flavors ng Pinas sa UK sa pagbebenta ng longganisa and tocino. O, di ba? Di tayo makapaniwala may longganisa at tocino pa sa UK.
'Di ba? I mean, maraming klase ng sausages, 'di ba? Yung sa atin is unique talaga yung
Iba, yes.
natin, 'di ba? And well, paborito ko 'yan. So anyway, sa mga hindi nakapanood nung episode na 'yon, balikan niyo, nasa YouTube channel natin 'yan and diyan sa Facebook. So para matunghayan niyo ano ba yung storya, saka paano nakarating ng UK ang longganisa.
Tama.
So ayan, so itong story natin for today super interesting to kasi napapanahon siya into this digital era, 'di ba? Andiyan na ang AI, andiyan na yung social medias and everything with regards to IT. And eto, isa to sa pag-uusapan natin na talagang napapanahon, yung BA, 'di ba? So dito sa OFE, ang dami natin naging BAs, 'di ba? Ang daming na-generate na trabaho eventually. And of course, maraming available na opportunities when it comes to VA. So later, pag-uusapan natin ano nga ba yung VA, 'di ba? So ayan, so ipakilala na natin yung special guest natin for tonight. Isang OFW na nangarap, nagsumikap at ngayon na isa ng entrepreneur. So without further ado, let us welcome Ben Paglinawan of Desert Virtual Agency and Consultancy UAE. Ayan. Ben, welcome.
Salamat,
hi,
thank you.
Ben.
Hi guys, kamusta? Cheska, Carl.
Ayun. So
Okay
Ben,
na ako.
nabanggit ko no, ang ganda nung magiging topic natin for tonight and talagang napapanahon siya. So pero
Mhm.
bago natin pag-usapan ng lubos yung pag-BBA and ano ba yung business. So si Cheska, may
Mhm.
mga itatanong muna yan bago tayo mag-focus sa business.
May pre-interview po tayo dito. Pero, ayun nga, Sir Ben, pwede niyo po ba kaming kwentuhan a little about yourself? And syempre, paano yung naging journey niyo bago kayo naging OFW and yun, nung OFW na kayo?
Ayun, salamat Cheska, again Carl, for having me tonight, o kung anumang time zone natin, ano. Ayun, so
Mm.
Ben Paglinawan, humble beginning talaga siya. My friends call me Ninoy, no? So, ang real name ko Benigno. So, medyo, kaya palayo ko, naging Ninoy. Laking ano ko laking Nabotas, Metro Manila. Tapos, I grew up there and I studied sa Manila. And then later on, lumipat kami sa Bicol. Now I'm residing in Naga City. Um, Nagsimula akong mag-work or I graduated pala muna sa TESDA. So I graduated with a technical course sa computer. So it's revolving around computer. It's called computer systems. So it's a short certification through TESDA, a diploma course. Kasi that time, hindi naman kami ganun ka financially capable, to have myself studied sa isang university. Though I want talaga na magpag-aral in a way ng actual degree course, kaya lang that time hindi siya viable for us. So yung parents ko, they always in business naman since I think I'm 4 years old. As far as I know, nagtitinda na kami ng ako nandiyan ako lagi sa tindahan namin, itlog, groceries. So laging nandun yung entrepreneurial side of us talaga. Kaya lang, syempre, siguro sa akin that time, hindi ko siya talaga inisip kagad. Ang gusto ko dati, mag-opisina, di ba? Normal, ganun tayo, ano?
Noon
Pagtatanungin
siya
ka,
eh.
Carl. Oo, na parang mas okay sa office, mas maganda yung nakaayos ka, nakabihis ka, parang ganun. So yung thinking ko, parang in a way, ang dream job mo, basta nasa office ka lang, okay ka na ron. So yun, nag-graduate ako sa TESDA, nag-first, karoon ako ng OJT sa Laguna. Share ko lang mabilis yung story about dun sa pag-OJT
Yeah.
ko na yun, ano. Dun sa OJT ko kasi na yun, nagkataon na, ano siya, pili lang yung pupunta talaga for the OJT. Siyempre, nasa Bicol kami and papadala sa Laguna yung mga mag-OJT. Ang una, puro babae lang, bawal daw lalaki. Kasi nga, ano yun Panasonic yung company that time. Ang ginagawa nila is a factory siya. So, ang line of production, puro girls talaga. So, at that time, talagang gusto ko nang umalis Gusto ko nang mag-OJT, gusto ko nang magtrabaho. So, I sneaked out. No. Pumunta ako ng Laguna without the school knowing. Nauna ako dun sa mga lalaki. Ang kasama ko mga babae na nasa bus sila, gano'n. Then pumunta lang ako kasi gusto ko talaga, sabi ko, hindi, I think meron yan. So pila kami dun sa may factory, then mapuro babae. Siguro 3, 4 lang kaming lalaki that time. Out of siguro mga nasa 400, 500. Ang dami nila, sobrang dami. Tapos, yun. Then, pumila lang ako. Luckily, walang nagtatanong kung ba't ako nang doon. So, parang, alam mo yun, nandun lang ako, nakipila lang. Then, mamaya-maya, ano ka na, ako na, turn ko na pala for that. Interview rin kasi yun para ako matatanggap ka as OJT, gano'n. So, luckily, I've been interviewed. Then, that time, parang nagulat din yung nag-i-interview na, oy, ba't ka nandito? Di ba, parang babae lang to. Parang gano'n. So, sabi ko na lang na, ano naka-receive din naman ako ng invitation. Baka mali lang yung slot ko, pero, yun. So yung risk nandun. Alam ko talaga wala pa akong chance for that, pero that's siguro the biggest leap that I had during that time. Na yung risk na yon. Though calculated risk siya kasi may family naman kami sa Laguna na matutuluyan in case na hindi ako matanggap. So calculated siya, guys, no. So hindi naman siya basta risk lang.
Hindi
Pero
siya
yun, dahil
typical talaga, no?
tapos, sakto, nakuha ko that time kasi siguro konti lang kami lalaki, halos lahat kami nakuha as technician. Hindi kami napunta sa production line, ano? Kasi pag nasa production line ka, iba yun eh. Parang nakaano lang kayo. Hindi siya ganun ka-technical. So napunta ako sa technical side, napunta ako as process technician. Nagsimula ako as parang doon talaga sa tinapusan ko. Hindi siya sa so as kung saan ako dapat. So napaganda siya in short. So yun, I started from there. Isang taon din siya. Then after that, I moved on. Nagano ako nag-shift ako ng career kasi ang uso that time is call centers. So I worked in call centers. Bumalik ako sa Bicol. And yun, di ako marunong mag-English talaga. So wala akong di ako ganun ka well spoken that time kasi hindi nga ganun kataas yung education ko. So when I worked in a call center, way back, I think 2011, yun yung first, ko talaga, na corporate setup. Nagtagal ako doon from an agent, nag-promote tayo, naging product trainers, and then naghawak na rin ako ng team. So I've been one of the youngest team manager that time then. And nagtuloy-tuloy yung journey ko sa call center for about 6 years bago ako nag-Dubai. So 2016, nagkaroon tayo ng chance na ma-invite dito nung family namin. Yung cousin ko at saka mga uncle ko and aunt ko nandito sila. So sila nag-sponsor ng papers namin, tinulungan kami ng parents ko, me and my wife. Lumipad kami papunta ng Dubai. Yan, sabay kami na pumunta 2016. So I'm very lucky then that time kasi may support system kami. So nagkataon, di ba Carl, alam mo naman, pag nagsisimula ka sa abroad, mahirap pagka solo ka lang. Wala kang, yung unang-una, di ba? May shelter ka, may support ka, may family ka. So yun. That time, I'm lucky enough na meron kaming ganun. So Feb 2016, nakapunta kami dito sa Dubai. And yun. Then I started my OFW journey, which I'm very proud of naman. And di kami na homesick kasi ang daming Pilipino dito sa UAE, dito sa Dubai. Obra, para ka nasa Maynila. Para sa Singapore, Carl.
Ang
Diba?
daming Pinoy. May question lang ako doon, Ben, no? Kasi medyo mahaba yung journey mo and iba-iba yung naging mo din, no? Naging line of work. So ano yung eagerness mo noon na makapag-start ang OJT agad? Is it to earn or is it to learn?
Pareho eh. Earn and learn talaga siya. Kagaya na sabi ko, parang na ako, kapag graduate mo, kailangan magtrabaho ka na kasi
Trabaho agad.
every day will be a challenge sa'yo kasi syempre, alam mo na, kailangan kumita tayo, Kasi meron akong 2 kapatid din naman. Ayoko naman maging pabigat sa parents ko kasi hindi naman kami financially okay then that time. So, yun talaga yung goal ko na makabawas ako sa liability nila. I earn, at least I can support, them and my siblings then as much as I can. Parang at least hindi lang ako maging pabigat. For me, okay na yun eh. So yun, talagang that's why I took the risk kahit na wala dun sa proper, no? I don't encourage everyone to do such. Pero yun, dahil sa ginawa ko yun, that I took the risk, I had a good position in that company, better than, I supposed to be in. So yun, very happy naman with that decision.
Oo. Pero if ever ba, since na-mention mo na you have relatives and they invited you and help you sponsor, pero if ever ba na kung hindi sila ang nag-invite, meron ka ba talagang plan na mag-abroad?
Well, meron din naman pero hindi siya priority eh. Kasi that time when nasa Manila kami with my wife, okay naman kami eh. We surviving and actually okay yung job naman. Kaya lang since meron na rin may anak na kami, parang nasa back of my mind na yes, kailangan na talaga rin na mag-upgrade when it comes to, yung kinikita mo. Siguro that will happen din naman. That will happen then.
Ayan. So go, Cheska.
Sige, Tito Carl. Actually, yung question ko lang is, nung nandun na po kayo sa Dubai, kasi syempre, yung corporate world, hindi ba siya naging mahirap? Kasi from Philippines, parang yung last, nyo is call center. Then pagdating nyo ng Dubai, I think adjustment ulit siya. Ano po yung naging work nyo sa Dubai na mismo?
Oo, actually malaking adjustment siya. Unang-una sa paghahanap ng trabaho dito, ano. Sa Dubai kasi,
Mm.
sa UAE, ang priority talaga is mga babae. So, anong nangyari, when I'm applying for a job, I'm not getting any calls talaga. So, February 2016, wala talaga akong na-receive na invitation for interviews. Laging yung wife ko ang natatawagan. So, ang ginagawa ko naman, me being Ben, talagang I take all the
First
possible
taker.
ways talaga. Oo, na kailangan talaga makapasok ako kahit anong way. So, nangyayari, kada may interview yung wife ko, sumasama ako sa kanya. Sasama ako sa kanya. And then
Wow.
after niyang interviewin, papasukin ko sa opisina yung yung HR o yung manager. Ganun, sabihin ko, sir, or ako capable din ako. Then I'm bankable. Binibigay ko yung CV ko. Then I try to speak to the decision maker if possible. Then that landed me my first job. So yung isang interview ni wife ko, nasa industrial area siya. So it's a logistic company. Um, Na-interview yung wife ko, pumasa siya. And then nung palabas niya ng door, pumasok na naman ako. So kinausap ko yung Egyptian na may-ari ng company. And yun, sinabihan ko agad, syempre, again, I need to be there kasi parang 1, 2 months na ata, wala akong trabaho that time. So masyado na akong kinakabahan kasi matatapos na yung visit visa ko,
Yung
which is 3 months lang.
Mhm.
Oo. So kinausap ko siya, na-impress naman siya. Then the boss made us choose kung sino ba yung mag-work. Yung wife ko ba or ako? So, ang ginawa namin, we chose na ako na lang kasi malayo yung lugar eh. Medyo parang disyerto talaga siya. Parang out of nowhere yung lugar. So, ako na lang yung nag-work. Then that started my career sa logistics. Yun yung first job ko na I've been a sales doon, sales executive. I started with them. Nag-adjust talaga, major adjustment kasi sa culture. Iba yung mga
Mhm.
Arabic, syempre, di ba? Iba yung nila, way of, yung thought trail nila, iba yung pagkain. So, malaking
Mm.
adjustment talaga siya. And ako lang, ating dalawa lang kaming Pilipino that time. So,
Oo.
ayun, din ako nag-start. So, yun yung first job ko yung logistics. Sa
Grabe, no?
sales.
So sa lahat ng adjustments na yon, I think yung food, yung culture, mabilis tayo mag-adapt eh, Pinoy eh. But yung sa'yo, jumping one industry to another, tingin ko mahirap na adjustment yun.
Oo, mahirap yun, Carl. Ano yun? Nagkaroon din ako ng parang homeworks para hindi naman ako mapahiya, syempre dun sa kumpanya, dun sa amo. So talaga nag-study ako with all the jargons, kung ano ba yung aralin ko dun sa logistics na yun. And ayun, awa ng Diyos, naitawid natin yun, So in just about 3 months actually, na-perfect ko na halos yung workaround with everything. And again, being a business-minded myself, nakapagdagdag tayo ng bagong businesses para dun sa amo ko that time for the boss. Talagang napalaki natin yung company talaga. And nakapagdagdag tayo ng mga bagong revenue streams for them. So yun. Parang ito na 3 months na almost promotion na rin kagad yung nangyari. And then nadagdagan kagad tayo ng sahod that
Wow.
time. So parang medyo mabilis nga yung pangyayari kasi parang nagustuhan ko rin yung trabaho, which is good.
Nice. Grabe, no? Ang bilis kung sales siya
Oo.
din. Ano po yun? Simula nung na-land kayo dun sa job na yun, yun na yung, doon na kayo sa company yun or may instance po ba na lumipat kayo, ganan?
Bali,
Or
yun.
yun na yun?
Ito yung I think for me, this is the highlight ng career ko, Carl, Jessica. Nung nag-work ako sa kanila, it's been really great. Talagang na doble halos yung size ng company in just, I think, less than 6 months. Grabe yung value na na-add natin, Kasi nagdagdag tayo ng bagong markets. Kasi, I speak English naman. So, we added Western countries dun sa business. Parang dati, puro Arabic lang yung nakakater natin. Then, medyo dumami na yung nakikater na bansa because I had that innate in me naman to talk to people, then business development side of me. So yun, gumanda siya after 6 months. Kaya lang, dahil doon sa growth na yun, ang nakita ko kasi nagkaroon ng mismanagement sa pera. Kasi nade-delay na yung sahod namin. Tapos, there are times na hindi talaga kami sumasahod, Carl. Ang hirap. Sobrang hirap nung journey na yun. Kasi alam mo, magbabayad ka ng bahay, hindi ka nila bibigyan ng
Siyempre,
pambayad.
yung
Alam mo yun, di ba sa
savings
atin?
mo, continuous yan. Hindi naman hihinto yan.
Oo, so sobrang hirap. Nagkataon na sabi ko sa wife ko, hindi tayo pwede mag-survive ng ganito. Dumating kami sa point na rock bottom talaga, na talagang yung daughter ko kasi, yung panganay ko, nasa Pinas siya, pinapasuyo muna namin sa parents ko, saka dun sa family ng wife ko. Nahirapan na kaming i-sustain kasi wala kaming sinasahod dito, wala akong sinasahod na maayos. Nagbaba yung sahod ng wife ko, alas pambayad na ng bahay. Tapos, yung credit card namin, max out na. Yung credit card sa Philippines, there are times na nag-grocery kami. Kahit parang 30, 40 dirhams lang siya, nagbabounce pa yung credit card namin. Kasi nga wala na kaming means eh. Kasi wala akong sinasahod. So may mga ganon, yung mga ka-flatmates namin, na makashare namin sa bahay dati. Lagi silang nagluluto, nakakaraos kami. Hindi nila alam na wala kaming pera. Alam mo yun, wala kaming ulam. May ganun time pa eh. Paglabas namin ng bahay ng kwarto namin, may pagkain na nakahain. Alam mo yun, parang tinatawid talaga kami. God grace yun eh. And yun, so it lasted for a year. Then naghanap na ako ng work. What happened was, nung nakahanap ako ng work, which is better than my first work, siyempre because of what I've added sa company, ayaw nila akong paalisin. So they refused to cancel my visa. They refused to basically let me go. Nagsampa ako ng kaso sa kanila. So file a labor case against the first company. And that lasted for 2 years. Sobrang yun yung pinaka, for me, isa yun sa mga
Stressful.
biggest challenge talaga na sobrang hirap. Kasi when you file a case sa hindi mo bansa, alam mo naman, hindi mo culture, isipin mo na, lahat ng worst. Wala ka talagang pupuntahan, nakakampi, hindi mo naman kakilala yung mga yon. So it lasted, yung una kong case sa kanila, lasted for a year. Ang kinagandahan naman doon, the day na nag-file ako ng case, tinanggap na rin kagad ako ng second job ko. So I have the means to sustain myself. At the same time, yung second job ko, which is my last job before I entered entrepreneurship, yun, that basically supported me dun sa case. Yung timings ko okay kasi alam nila na may kaso ako. Then the boss has been very, very supportive talaga. So natapos ko yung first case ko sa kanila. I won the case. I've been awarded with some money. Oo. Which is good. But after that first case, nagkaso naman sila sa akin. So after 1 year, kinasuhan naman nila ako. Gusto talaga nila akong gipitin eh. Alam mo yun? So sobrang iba-ibang klaseng stress yung dinanas ko that time. So nung kinaso na nila ako, medyo mabigat, Carl, kasi civil case yun. Ang kinaso nila sa akin parang loss of business, na nalugi sila because I left, ganun-ganun. So wala akong abogado. Wala akong legal with me. So ang ginagawa ko that time, nakikiusap ako dun sa mga tawag nila doon, mga centers, mga AMR centers, mga typing centers, na merong marunong mag-Arabic para matulungan ako to review yung mga sinesend nilang case sa akin. Then I answer back in English, pero pinapatranslate ko yung English na yun in Arabic. So basically, I'm the attorney myself. Wala akong legal talaga. So yun, grabe, natapos ko rin yun. Nanalo na naman ako sa second case ko. After that, I've been given a chance na ipasarado yung company and ipahuli din yung general manager. So what we did, ako ang ginawa ko na lang, of course I filed a case to para makuha ko lang kung ano yung dues ko. Kasi ibebenta yung assets ng companies, for me to recover something. I didn't get anything in that level. Ang nakuha ko lang doon is parang yung deposit nila sa license nila. And after that, parang 3,000 lang yun, 3,000 dirhams. Which is like, sobrang fraction lang nun dapat na makukuha ko. And ang nangyari is, hindi ko na tinuloy yung kaso ko doon sa general manager. I could have had that chance na ipakulong talaga siya, no, Cheska? Talagang, sabi ko nga sa wife ko, ano bang gagawin? Kasi pag pinakulong ko siya, I believe may makukuha ko eh. Kasi wala ka naman choice eh. Para makalabas ka, magbabayad ka, pwede niya ipangutang yun, pwede niya gawa ng paraan. So what I did, sabi ko dun sa wife ko, nag-usap kami, hindi na namin tutuloy. Pinagpasa Diyos na lang namin lahat yun. Kasi 2 years, okay na ako. Nandito na rin yung family ko, yung daughter ko, nadala ko na rin naman. Financially, nagiging okay na. Kasi nga, sumasahod na ako ng tama sa oras. And halos umokay naman na yung trabaho kasi halos dumoble rin yung sahod ko nung paglipat ko. So ako, pinagpasa Diyos ko nilang siya, then I moved on. So yun, then yun yung isa sa mga talagang biggest struggle that I had as an OFW. Then lumipat na ako dito sa company ko. na bago ako
Yes.
mag-set up ng talagang company ko.
Ayun.
Mm.
So sa mga viewers
Sobrang
lang natin, no?
stressful.
So talagang medyo mahirap mag-OFW, no? So medyo it looks luxurious kasi sa Pilipinas when it comes to us bilang OFWs. Pag umuwi tayo, marami tayong pasalubong and people think na marami tayong pera. Well, at some point it's true, at some point then naman is that there's challenges and hindi nila alam or hindi nila nakikita kung ano yung challenges. So most of the time nakikita nila is yung yung bakasyon, yung gala, yung spending, 'di ba? And of course, I mean, yung mga kababayan naman natin and sa lahat naman na nag-a-abroad, talagang malaki yung difference ng sinasahod abroad, 'di ba? So in that case, sa mga nasa ibang bansa right now bilang OFW, like what Ben did, know your rights. Kasi minsan baka naagabyado na tayo, hindi pa natin alam.
Tama,
Wherein
tama.
we have to be very careful din kasi nga dahil nasa foreign country tayo, may possibility na hindi tayo manalo sa case, may possibility mapauwi tayo, 'di ba? So have to weigh in things bago tayo either lumaban or ipagpasa Diyos na lang natin, 'di ba? Kasi for some reasons then there would be something na mako-compromise. Diba?
Tama,
So,
tama, Carl, tama.
yan, yung mga taong may possibility mawala ng trabaho, ikaw magkaroon ka ng case versus dun sa company mo. So, we have to be very careful. And we always have to understand ano ba yung nangyayari. Diba?
Tama.
So, at dahil sa mga challenges na na-experience ni Ben, alam ko si Cheska may magandang tanong yan.
Yes. Actually, before yon Tito Carl, sobrang na-stress ako sa nangyari kay Sir Ben. Kasi di ba parang ikaw na nga yung nag-help sa company, pero ang nangyari, sila pa yung nag-file ng civil case sa'yo. And super na-amaze ako doon sa resiliency. Kasi even though medyo tight na yung budget during that time, diba, nakita natin yung grace talaga na nag-sustain all throughout that time. And eto na po, nung, di ba, nag-second job kayo, okay, narinig ko po okay na kayo dun sa kinikita and doble na siya. Paano nyo po naisipan? I mean, like, paano nyo na-realize ano yung nag-push sa inyo para magtayo na lang ng sarili nyong business kesa ituloy pa yung job nyo? Kasi, I think you're doing good or you're doing well dun sa dun sa naging second job nyo before yung business. So, ano po yung point na na-realize na, kailangan ko nang i-pursue tong business na to?
Ito, Cheska naman, yung transition ko. So, doon sa second job ko naman, again, it's a well-paid job talaga na doble yung sahod ko. And then, I handled bigger roles doon sa second job ko. So, basically, nandun ako sa decision maker sa second job. And it brought me to, kumbaga, yung height na nung career ko talaga dito. And during my career naman, with the second job, with that logistic then, nag-set up tayo ng first business natin during the pandemic. So, bago mag-Desert BA, meron tayong Ben and Melissa, which is an e-commerce brand. Marketing din siya. Na it's basically a sideline, you can say. A sideline. Habang nasa job, meron akong full-time job. And nagsimula talaga akong mag-isip ng magnegosyo. Nakita ko naman talaga yung destiny ko, which is magnegosyo talaga. Kasi yung family ko, again, nandun na talaga sa negosyo side, ever since di naman sila nagtrabaho. Dinay ko lang sa sarili ko na ayoko magnegosyo. Kasi nga dahil gusto ko mag-opisina. Di ba? Parang gusto mo lang talaga mag-office, no? Gusto ko may naka-quote ako, gusto ko nasa computer ako, di ba? Pero yung pala, yung pagdating mo dito, ang mga OFW pala, gusto naman nila baliktad. Gusto nila magtinda, gusto nila magnegosyo. Diba? Nagkaroon ako ng realization talaga na, nandun na parang nung pandemic na yon, sabi ko, sige, kumuha ko ng lisensya ko. So, proper business siya, hindi siya yung parang nag-Facebook account lang, tapos nag-post ng post. Talagang business talaga siya. And it lasted for 2 years. In-exit namin yung company, profitable naman siya. Kasi yung wife ko that time, pregnant din siya. So, sakto, nasa bahay lang siya. Merong mag-aasikaso din naman ng business. Meron dito sa Philippines pa nga yun eh. Meron pa kaming sa Philippines that time. mga pasabay. If you know that, Carl, no? So yun, di ba?
Mm.
Yan.
Pasabay tayo ng mga kung ano-ano nandito, pinapadala sa
Mga
Pilipinas.
bagay, pagkain, chocolate, or whatever, di ba?
Lahat, anything, kawali, underwears, alam mo yun, damit, lahat. Padala mo doon, gano'n. So yun, 2 years siya, nagawa ko naman siya ng maayos, kami na okay naman siya, marami kami natutunan doon. And then yung talagang nagpa-decide sa akin na mag-focus na for a full-time business. So last year lang naman yun na nag-isip kami na ako personally, marami akong binulay-bulay, ano, na parang, sige, parang feeling ko, this is it na. So meron kasi tayong sa VA, so I'll start na with Desert VA. Nakita ko may gap talaga rito sa Middle East, especially sa Dubai. So 2023 kasi, naghahanap tayo ng resource natin dito sa Dubai na pwedeng mag-support sa atin sa operation namin ng after office hours. No? Kasi may mga tawag sa telepono, may mga sales call after office hours. Ang una, we tried within the team, nagpapa-overtime ako. Tapos, syempre, nababurnout yung mga tao. Tatrabaho sila ng extra hours, ano. Tapos, nag-ano na lang ako, nag-isip ako na parang okay, ano bang gagawin? Tumawag ako ng mga companies dito. Yun, so tumawag ako ng mga companies dito na pwede sana magbigay sa atin ng gano'n na support. Parang call centers, di ba? Kasi galing naman ako doon eh. Nung tumatawag ako ng mga local companies, gusto ko sana dito lang. Ayoko na tumingin sa Pilipinas kasi mas may cultural advantage pag nandito yung agency, di ba?
Nandyan.
Oo. So gusto ko parang pagka nag-hire kami, alam na kagad nila yung gagawin, aware na sila sa market dito. Hindi na namin kailangan mag-elaborate pa nung mga bagay-bagay. And I try to call people, yung mga malalaking firms, wala, hindi sila nakakapag-provide sa akin ng proper talent. So that's when I see na, okay, 2023, I'll do it myself. So nag-hire ako sa Pilipinas with my first hire doon through my company. Then na-hire ko siya. It's been really successful. Talagang I ended up having at least 6-7 people na dinala as a VA doon sa company kong existing. Nakita ko may gap talaga. There's a gap in the market that there is no quality agency that provides virtual assistant to companies dito sa Dubai, sa UAE, and across the Middle East. So when I see the gap, that gives me the starting point, no? The starter talaga na, okay, I'll focus on this. I'll help more kababayans to get a job as well, a proper job. Na imagine you're earning dirhams, di ba? While you're in the Philippines. And first, I'll start with OFWs din naman. So yung mga OFW na uwi ng Pilipinas and they're lost. Minsan kasi biglaan, di ba? Carl, may mga ganun tayo na biglang uwi na magkasakit yung nanay, magbabantay siya. Kailangan yung anak nandun o sasamahan yung anak sa Pilipinas na magpo-for good na, di ba? Hindi nila alam kung anong gagawin nila. So at least meron silang option. Option to work as a virtual assistant, supporting the region. Kasi may experience ka na eh. You're already equipped with everything. Yung cultural knowledge, yung skill set for the job itself. Perfect, di ba? So at least merong option. And at the same time, being myself kasi, I'm still working as a consultant. No? Fractional basis siya with growth and strategy. So it also helps me na meron akong i-offer doon sa mga companies na kino-coach ko. So I'm coaching companies then, small companies, that they have this capability to scale pa without hiring the overhead dito sa bansa na to. Now we can outsource it. So nagagamit ko din yung Desert VA to be a tool as a tool to grow their businesses. So parang hitting birds in two stone na yun eh. I'm helping the brands, the companies, I'm helping kababayans, and it's helping me. Kasi syempre, di ba?
Oo, di ba? I mean, yun naman talaga eh. Yun yung purpose ng entrepreneurship eh. Addressing the gap, di ba? And
Yes.
at the same time, of course, yung earning darating yan. But the true mission is, yun nga, to address the gap and generate jobs, di ba? Basically. And you saw na, yun nga, yung mga OFWs na umuuwi for some reasons, emergency or na layoff sa work, di ba? They will always have a chance na makapag-trabaho din. And the beauty of that as well is that, yun nga, ang daming gustong mag-abroad pero hindi nila kaya. Di ba? Let's say, about placement fee, about requirements, about the age, di ba? In VA, I mean, virtual assistants, di ba? Hindi mo kailangan lahat ng karamihan ng requirements, di ba? or hindi mo
Totoo.
kailangan mag-shell off ng pera para makapag-abroad or makakuha ng trabaho. 'Di ba?
Totoo yun.
So, may question lang ako kanina kasi nabanggit mo nag-start ka for a few numbers of BAs muna. So, in-establish mo muna yung company mo or hanap ka muna ng resource bago mo itinayo yung company?
Yun, good question, Carl. Ang nangyari, yung pagse-set up ko ng company ko, kasi I've been backed with, my consultancy side na that fuels the company then. So technically, I'll start from scratch. No? Yung current, or yung company ko na existing, yung current, before I launch my business, client ko na rin sila. So nagkaroon ako ng parang first client dun sa company ko. Then it turns out naman na yung founder namin and yung CEO is convinced on my decision na, and they are supporting me naman. They're very supportive in that level. So parang sila palang client ko na, you know. So nagkaroon na ako ng foundation. So before I start, again, it's a calculated risk to everyone. Hindi siya basta lang na, magbi-business ako. Hindi ganoon. Na nagkaroon ako ng preparation with financially, of course, and then yung nakuha kong pera with the company, syempre paglalabas ka, meron kasi ditong gratuity, hindi natawag, Carl. So I invested in that money to the business. Tapos, I already have my connections then that like my current company. So meron na tayong jumpstart kagad. Hindi tayo nag-start from like really
From
scratch.
zero talaga, no? Maganda, di ba? Kasi at least it build confidence din sa'yo.
Yes, oo.
Di ba? Na talagang hindi ka nag-isip while you're doing it, meron ka na on the side, meron ka ng mga nakakausap, and meron ka nang na-open up about it. Di ba? Yung iba kasi nag-start, paano kaya yung kliyente ko? Sino magiging kliyente ko? Sino magiging customer ko? Di ba? Maghahanap pa lang ako. Or maghanap ba muna ako ng kliyente bago ako mag-start ng company. Di ba? I mean, kanya-kanyang start
Tama.
which is hindi mo talaga makikita sa isang type ng negosyo na paano ba talaga sila nag-umpisa. Di ba? Kanya-kanyang story talaga sila eh.
Iba-iba talaga. Kasi ang akin naman talaga, that kaya lagi kong binabanggit simula nung kanina, the calculated risk. There's a risk. Pero as much as you can, try to make it talaga, na makapag-plan ka. Diba? It's a risk eh. So, dapat makwenta mo na lahat. No? Kung ano ba yung mga i-let go mo, ano ba yung mga i-adjust mo. Like what you said, yung iba kasi, syempre, that's the first thing na pag magmi-business ka talaga. Ano ba yung first client ko? So, you need to prepare all those muna. Kung ano man yung, ang pinaka parang, isipin mo, yung cash flow, kailangan may kikitain ka kagad. Alam mo yun? Kailangan meron kagad. Dapat ganun. Though, may maraming successful businesses, siyempre, kagaya ko dati, di ba? Risk talaga. Iba-iba talaga yung story. And then you learn from it. All the mistakes naman, all those trials, hardship na ma-encounter mo, and those are lessons. So, you will learn something from it talaga.
And dito mo, Cheska, makikita, no? Kahit gaano kalakas ang loob ng tao, pa rin, kinakalculate pa rin nila yung risk. Di ba? And again, to us, and to other entrepreneurs na nakausap namin, is hindi pare-parehas ng risk appetite. Di ba? So, kanya-kanya yan. And nasa sa'yo yan. And alam mo sa sarili mo kung gaano ka lakas yung risk appetite mo or gaano kahina. Di ba? But again, bottom line of this is that everything you do or everything that you want to start, there would always be a risk.
Yes, totoo.
Ayan. So, talagang very, very curious na ako dito sa Dessert PA. So, Sir Ben, pwede nyo ba i-share sa amin ano yung products and services ni Dessert PA? So, the people or the mga ka-OFE natin will know. And syempre, malay natin may potential clients, diba? Connections.
Or potential BA, diba? Sa
Yes.
Pilipinas.
BA.
Oo, yun, sa Desert BA. So this is very exciting, syempre. Lately lang, Carl, nakita ko parang last week, nakakita ako ng news report na top 1 na halos yung virtual assistant job as a dream role ng mga kabayan natin sa Pilipinas. Nagulat din ako kasi parang, Oo, parang okay. Na because not because of the job itself, but because of the flexibility it offers, ano. Kasi
Mm.
meron tayong mga VAs, alam mo naman may mga family tayong VAs, makikita mo sila they're working sa bahay lang, nakapajama, and minsan nasa event pa nga, nasa beach, nag-ano, 'di ba? Nag-ano sila,
Trabaho pa rin.
nag-work. Pero nandun sila sa Palawan, nasa Boracay, nasa Surigao. Nandun yung flexibility eh. And then those people naman na kagaya ng mga nanay, tatay, nagbabantay ng anak, nakakapagbantay sila they're with their family while working. So yun, ang galing lang. Na itong Desert VA kasi, so we wanted to provide talaga assistance sa mga companies dito sa Middle East. It's been popular na. The virtual assistant job is popular in the US, in Europe, in Canada, in Australia. Kasi mahal yung ano nila doon eh, yung per hour rate. Siyempre instead of hiring in the country nila, so they outsource, di ba? Yung mga tao to other countries. Hindi lang naman Philippines, marami pa. May India, may South America, maraming mga sources. And dito sa Middle East, we wanted to introduce this as an option for companies na meron option, 'di ba, na mag ano na um,
Mas
magpalaki ng business, mag-scale ng business without getting your employees dito. And we have a pool of talents that can be used like us Filipinos na galing na dito, OFW that have the capability na the cultural advantage, the skill sets to support those businesses. So, ang Desert VA, we provide virtual assistant to those companies, and also we provide strategic and growth support to small companies din. So aside from the general VA assistance, kumakausap din tayo ng mga companies and we help them achieve their goals talaga through mentorship, coaching, and embedded leadership through myself and other leaders then. So ang main ano ng business, Desert VA, again, is to provide virtual support, human assistant, virtual assistant, remote assistant to companies. And again, the bigger bigger picture of this is we're helping our kababayans then that soon wants to work as a virtual assistant sa Pilipinas o kahit dito, pwede rin naman through the company. And later on, kasi very limited naman tayo, Carl, with what we can do, hindi naman lahat makaka-hire natin, ano? So, hindi naman lahat makikater ng company natin. We will also educate them. So, we will be providing CSR then, like free courses, AI, virtual assistant courses, and I will be doing then soon these webinars to help our OFWs to fully understand ano ba yung what's in it for them if in case na gusto rin nilang mag virtual assistant in the future or even set up their own business. It will be under my brand naman, under my name, Ben Paglinawan. I will help them with my own experiences then. I will not try to be, someone that I'm not. So based on what I've faced, at least I can share it to them. And, from setup to collecting payments. Kasi yun talaga, di ba? From setup to collecting payments to continuing the business, I can also help people. So yun, yung model later on is to, especially for our kababayans that may be listening to us here, is to still help, to lend a hand, to educate, to provide free services as much as I can, to propagate the news that there is this option naman, that there is this option na pwede nilang itry in case na maghahanap pa sila kung ano yung gagawin nila pag umuwi sila ng Pilipinas.
Yun. So, mas naging malinaw yung bridging the gap talaga doon sa katulad ng ginagawa sa US and syempre yung sa ginagawa ng Desert VA. Pero, if ever, for example, Sir Ben, may mga nanonood tayo na as in mga entrepreneur, pwede bang i-share natin sa kanila ano yung advantage ng mga VA as resources sa company owner?
Oo, ang VA kasi napakadaming advantages. Una na dyan, syempre, you have a scaling workforce without the overhead. Lalo pag nandito tayo sa UAE, sa Singapore, Carl, alam mo naman, pag nagbibisa dyan, kailangan mo ng IDs, lahat kada galaw mo gastos. Kung kukuha ka na empleyado kasi dito, Cheska, hindi siya ganun kadali na pagkuha mo, bigyan mo ng offer letter, okay na. Hindi. May overhead yon. Overhead is yung salary nila. Bibigyan mo sila ng mga allowances, yung gratuity nila. Maraming bagay na
Mm-mm.
hindi lang sahod yung binabayad ng company doon sa tao. Marami yun yung overhead. And by hiring a VA sa Philippines, they are not paying for the visa. They're not paying for the overhead. They're just paying for that services, individual service na pinoprovide ng
Yes.
VA. And that gives the company obviously better profit and
Savings.
'di ba mas maayos yung mas malaki yung income ratio compared to hiring someone here sa country na to. And that's one, syempre yun ang top naman normally mga companies save costs yan. And then the second thing is the flexibility na alam mo na may conflict dito sa Middle East ngayon. Sobrang ano mo yun, unstable minsan ng nangyayari because of the wars. And luckily naman dito sa UAE, the government is very supportive. So I applaud Dubai government, Sheikh Maktoum, everyone, kasi sobrang supportive nila sa mga businesses dito and sa lahat ng tao dito. And during the conflict, kung nandito ka sa Dubai and something shut off, operation shut off, and you have a BA elsewhere, kung nasa Philippines yun, you have a remote team that supports the continuity of the business. No? So, isa yun
Yes.
sa mga advantage talaga eh. Nasipin mo, nagsarado yung office mo dito, pero you still have someone answering calls for you, continuing the work na pending kasi nga may closure ng offices dito. Sometimes limited yung magagawa talaga. Wherein, kung pauwiin ka ba ng office, meron kasing ganun chance, Carl, na nandito sa office, mga tanghaling tapat, and nagsabi yung company, uwi na kayo lahat, uwi na kayo. Kasi nga, di ba, there's something happening. And during the travel time, during those times, syempre, walang sasagot ng telepono. May mga tao tumatawag kasi nagtaalala sila kasi yung gamit nila. Kasi it's a storage company eh. And there's a VA, there is a company, or there's a entity, or an individual, answering calls na wala doon sa conflict area. So
Mm-mm.
meron ka talagang flexibility when hiring a VA. And that is very strategic sa company na magkaroon ka ng ganong support. And siguro yung isa pang
Yes.
advantage of having a VA, magkakaroon ka ng malaking workforce, no? That you can scalable workforce that can match the company's growth. Kasi dito pa mag-hire ka, yung bilis ng pag-scale mo. Pag sa traditional hiring kasi, it will take you 60-90 days to hire someone. Kasi magbibisa ka, hindi sila pwede mag-work, walang visa. Minsan magka-cancel pa ng visa yan kung nag-work sa ibang company. Tapos magpapasis ng visa, maraming gagawin. Kailangan mo pa ng bagong office spaces for them. And for a VA, kung kailangan nilang 10, parang within a week, we can deploy. Alam mo yun?
Ah,
Kasi kailangan ko na ngayon kasi nag-expect kami ng high volume of calls or high volume of activities for the month, next month. They can have someone available or a team available for them in their disposal. Ganon kabilis with VA. Kasi lahat malaki yung pool natin eh. Filipinos are very talented. I'm very lucky then that we have that community sa mundo, hindi lang Pilipinas, sa mundo that has that various skill sets. Lahat parang wala ata akong trabahong alam na di natin kayang gawin. Ang galing. Parang lahat nandun tayo.
sobrang ng mga Pinoy talaga. I mean, ako bilang
Versatile.
OFW na witness ko yan, no? I mean, in every industry talagang may Pinoy dyan, especially healthcare sector. Talagang ang daming Pinoy. And again, kahit sa ang industry talagang nandyan yan sila. So, Ben, pwede mo ba kaming bigyan ng example, industry, no need to say a company or a brand, what kind of business na magbe-benefit sa VA?
Oo, sa businesses, lahat well, actually, any companies that, especially first, let's say, call centers, Carl, no? Yung pinaka-popular call centers and customer service supports. Let's say, I have, my director of operations, based siya sa Philippines right now. He's currently handling a healthcare account. And nurse siya, nurse din yung mga team niya. And yung client namin is from the US. From the US yon. Since talaga, sobrang galing natin, sobrang, yung skill set kasi like sa nurse, overqualified tayo for just answering calls no? And
Mm-mm.
those people are benefiting talaga sa services natin. Medical field, 100% talagang isa sa mga top yan, medical, and then technical side naman, yung mga uh, mobile carriers sa ibang bansa, yan yung mga industries talaga na sobrang dami ng volume talaga yung kailangan nilang tao kasi marami silang nare-receive ng mga cases Pati yung insurance, yan. Popular din yan. Kasi yung mga claims, lahat ng may interactions, kasi though may AI na, ang AI kasi, siyempre, that's a different discussion, pero maraming works na hindi pwedeng i-hand over kay AI Ang sabi nga nila, di ba, parang, ay, mawawala na ng trabaho yung mga BA kasi may AI na, di ba, yung talagang, ngayon, that's a big talk na parang, ba't ko pa mag-hire ng BA, may AI na? No.
Hindi malaking
Not yet.
debate pa
And
yun for now.
malaking debate. But for me, no. It won't replace VA yet. Yung AI, it will be a tool for the VA to be more productive on their job. Though definitely there will be roles na mawawala because of AI, like yung automations, yung mga tawag nga nila, mga data entry, yung mga medyo sobrang repetitive work, yun.
Or mga data
Definitely,
engineering, mga ganyan, di ba?
it will be. But anything that has human intervention, like critical thinking talaga, like in a way na kailangan din ng empathy, emotion, it won't be replaced yet. But again, that's a different discussion. Pero
Yan.
VA
Well,
is here to stay.
and kaya nga 'di ba nabanggit ko kanina during opening no, talagang interesting tong kwento na to. I mean, tong business na to. Kasi nga nandito na tayo internet era digital era. So everything goes through internet, 'di ba? To tulad ng ginagawa natin, wala namang ganitong klase ng interviews before. But now, accessible na tong mga ganito, 'di ba? And dito sa OFE, we're proud to say na ginagamit namin parehas yan. Meron kami VA, gumagamit kami ng AI, di ba? Ng tool. So we can proudly say na yan, si Cheska is one of our family, OFE family members, and lumaki kami ng lumaki because of VA. So VA helps OFE in promoting OFE, postings, designs, editing, many stuff that can be done na remotely. Diba? So,
Yes.
as sa mga followers natin and viewers natin, alam naman natin na ang mga founders ng Overseas Filipino Entrepreneurs ay nasa Singapore, and the rest of the OFE families are in the Philippines. Diba? So, makikita mo talaga na talagang visible na talaga ang VA, and one of recognized na job na rin talaga, which has a lot of advantages then. And of course, syempre, any kind of trabaho naman or side hustle, may pros and cons, 'di ba? So for VAs, you're in your hometown, you're in your home, in your family, and then yun nga, makakapag-work ka based on your timing, 'di ba? But you don't have the team building, the benefits in the office, na may gym, na may free food, yung mga ganyan. Di ba? Again, kanya-kanya yan. And it's up to ano yung fit sa'yo. Di ba? Kung fit ka na pumunta sa office, tulad ni Ben, kanina, sabi niya, pangarap niya, di ba? Nasa opisina, naka long sleeve, nasa aircon na office. Diba? But some of us, gusto naman nasa bahay lang, chill ka lang, pero nagtatrabaho ka. Diba? So there's many advantages and disadvantages din yung ganyan. But I think Cheska can help to add on about VA.
Yes. Actually, super, yun nabanggit mo nga, Tito Carl. Isa lang yun sa mga, disadvantage na sa iba. Pero sa akin, okay lang. Kasi medyo may pagka-introvert ako. Minsan ayaw ko din lumalabas-labas. Mga team building. Pero siguro, once in a while, need mo din. Pero so far, yung pagiging VA, kasi yun din, yung work ko kasi ngayon, din siya remote na din. Parang client staffing. So, medyo super all good siya sa akin. Kasi syempre, I got my time. nakokontrol ko kung ano yung mga ano ko. Tapos, ang good thing din kasi walang micromanaging, though it depends dun sa mga mapupuntahan mong work. Pero,
Mm-mm.
yun, hawak mo yung time mo, tapos, super all good kasi hindi ka, iba yung ano eh, iba yung relationship sa personal, to be honest naman talaga. Mas maganda siya actually. Pero, kung online, okay din naman kasi halos same lang eh, 'di ba? Hindi mo lang siya nakikita personally, pero nagkakausap naman kayo through online. So, all good. Wala na naman pinagbago. Pero mas na-enjoy ko to kasi, yun nga, biggest advantage is hawak mo yung time mo, you can work everywhere, anywhere, 'di ba? So,
Oo.
yun.
And I think I can add one more na super advantage to bilang VA. If you're in Manila, I mean, I'm not saying na ang bad ng traffic sa atin, but you save
Ay,
a lot of
yeah.
time in working rather than traveling. 'Di ba?
Yes,
And
yes.
Exactly.
and super important to that is hindi yung pamasahe eh, yung
Mm,
oras.
yung oras.
Oras and pagod.
Mm.
Imbis na yung time mo na yon is you're spending it with your family or you spend it to rest and bumabiyahe ka pa. Okay.
Correct.
Diba?
To be honest, yan
So,
din yung... Mm.
diba? So, Jessica, so, super agree ka, diba? So again, kung ikaw, yun yung, I mean, yun yung lifestyle na gusto mo while working, then you have the option now. Hindi ka tulad dati, kami, nung mga nagtatrabaho
Wala
kami
kang choice.
in Pinas, is talagang kailangan namin pumunta. Kailangan namin pumunta
Yes.
sa site, sa location ng trabaho. Unlike ngayon, because of COVID din, nagkaroon na ng mga hybrid setup, di ba? Half of the week, nasa bahay ka, another half is you're in the office. And again, if you don't have that kind of option, eto na. Full time kang nasa bahay, di ba? Na VA ka. So anything else that you want to add in VA? Ano ba tong mga to na nakita natin dito?
Oo, so sa BA naman, I agree with what you guys said, no, sa advantages. Napakaraming advantages din naman. Pros and cons, syempre, lahat ng trabaho may cons. And pros sa BA, yun, sobrang yung flexibility. And siguro, dagdag ko muna, Carl, no, bago ako mag-ano dito. Yung about just on managing VAs din. Sinabi nga ni Jessica, yung hindi micromanage ka ng, I think it's very popular sa BA then that you get that, trust from your employers. Kasi output-based normally talaga, mga VAs output-based yan. And there are some that, do have this micro management, which is minsan kailangan naman sa trabaho. Pero ano talaga yan, yung accountability ng mga VAs is very, very high kumpara sa mga nasa opisina. Kasi minsan nasa office ka, kahit na 8 hours job ka, hindi naman 8 hours nag-work ka, di ba? Pero sa VA, iba. Minsan, umi-exceed pa ng oras yan. Kasi nga dahil, gusto nila talaga ma-prove dun sa companies, di ba, that they're worth keeping, etc. So, your accountability is really high. And, for advantage, basta sobrang dami niya. And I wanted to discuss that later on, syempre, dun sa mga pages natin.
Yeah, sige. Sure. Meron lang din akong tanong dyan kasi as you mentioned na meron talagang mga nag-exceed ng oras and meron din naman syempre na hindi mo kailangan makumpleto yung 8-hour shift, di ba? Kasi since output driven siya or output requirement siya, so pag nagawa mo na yon, you don't have to spend 8 hours. Tama ba ako?
Yes, may mga ganun. Tama yun, Cart. May mga output-based lang. Kunwari, content creation. Hindi mo kailangan ng, di ba, ng talaga, na matapos yung shift mo. Kung natapos mo yung editing ng video na pinapagawa, then you're good. So, iba-iba siya. And then, employment naman, it's on the contract kung ano yung talagang mapag-agreean nyo ng company. Yes, there are contract-based. Meron 3 months lang, 6 months lang. Kasi seasonal yung trabaho or pwedeng permanent. Permanent is the highest option ngayon. Talaga na yung popular option na magkaroon ng permanent na talagang empleyado mo siya, yung VA. Meron din naman part-time lang na mga part-time na na mga VAs na hindi nila kailangan ng full-time for that specific task. So, marami talaga. So, depende lang talaga yun sa requirement ng company. Yun. Sorry, naputol kita kanina. Explain ko na lang din ito.
No worries. Yeah, go ahead.
sa VA. So yung again, sa Desert VA, so we wanted to introduce it to the market dito sa UAE and the Middle East, that there is this option that you can have a virtual assistant for your companies, and at the same time, it will also be, helping our fellow kababayans to land a job. Ang ano naman, again, it's hitting two birds in one stone talaga. And more on ano talaga to, a strategy for companies to save their time, to grow their income, to grow their profits, through scaling through virtual assistant. Yun.
Ayun. Sige, tingnan natin kung meron pa tayong slide. So ito, ano naman tong nandito sa slide na to?
Oh, so when I'm introducing BAs naman to when I'm doing meetings with clients, so I'm facing, of course, different nationalities. Ang mga client natin hindi mga Pilipino, the more on ibang lahi talaga sila, and they're listening. This is good. This is what I want. I like in my role right now. I get to meet a lot of people then while working. And normally, nung nag-start ako ng business ko, I've seen that ako lang yung Filipino na business owners na talagang laging, parang, bakit ako lang? Parang naisip ko, bakit ako lang? Sana marami kami. Parang nung pandemic, I attended meetings, board meetings, and like yung mga gatherings ng mga business owners. Laging sana marami pang Filipinos. So now I'm seeing naman 2026, sobrang dami na rito sa UAE ngayon na mga successful Filipinos na nag-grow sa career nila, na they've been handling matataas na role na, and they're also now having businesses. So yun, ito lang naman, I think that the reference is for some client meetings and in my old job when I get to coach
Curious lang po
some
ako.
leaders.
Mhm.
Yes, Jessica.
May mga client po ba kayo na nagre-request like ibang nationality na VA or mga Pinoy lang talaga?
Actually, meron. Normally, lalo pag bilingual, yun ang pinaka-top Pag kailangan nila ng Arabic speaker. Pero meron din tayong Filipinong Arabic speaker. Hindi nila kasi alam parang, meron akong nakausap last week na naghahanap sila ng, sa Saudi to, Arabic support. Ang sabi ko naman sa kanila, though gusto nila, siyempre, pure Arabic, sabi ko, it's not strategic. So I'm trying to upsell Filipinos pa din. Na I can find you someone that speaks Bicolano and Arabic. Yung mga ganun. Parang hanapan ko kayo, kahit na anong requirement nyo. Kahit Pilipino. Pero yes, there are companies talaga na naghahanap. Pero there are ways naman to divert it to Filipinos pa din. So ganun siya.
I see. Kasi di ba, syempre hindi mo pa rin naman may iwasan yun. Kasi minsan, ano yun kumbaga, comfortability din, di ba? Convenience sa ibang nationality. Pagka gusto nila na same language, di ba? Na kayang language kayang language. So, but again, it's na parang nakakataba ng puso na most of your VAs talagang mga Pinoy, 'di ba? So they always have this kind of opportunity na hindi talaga madaling makuha, and hindi to ganun ka-common before. But nowadays is talagang marami ng ganito. Well, in your case nga is it's the company that source out VAs and provide it to clients. But meron kasi akong nakikita before na yung mismong company ang naghahanap ng VAs.
Yes, meron ganon, Carl. Ayun isa sa mga gusto ko din naman na i-establish, no? Aside from again, I can only do much sa company, hindi naman lahat ma-hire natin. So tuturuan natin yung mga kababayan natin to find those companies, to be equipped then to how to sell themselves to sa mga companies. Not themselves, but their skill sets sa mga companies. And they can find their clients themselves. So, isa yun sa mga advocacy natin.
Kasi syempre, hindi lang dahil naghahanap sila ng VAs. No? Of course, ang company sa naghahanap ng VAs, meron niyang certain skills na hinahanap. Di ba? Katulad yan ng sinabi mo, kung properly equipped sila, madali na nilang ibenta yung sarili nila.
Yes, totoo yun.
Diba?
And lagi naman, sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, which is, ito yung ginagawa ni Ben and ginagawa ng Desert VA. So So mga viewers natin, stay tuned, follow nyo ang Desert VA and for you to be equipped bilang VAs and para mabenta nyo yung sarili nyo in the future when it comes to virtual assistant role.
Oo,
Mm.
more on ano yun sa Ben Paglinawan page yun. Kasi Desert BA talaga normally, ang makikita nila ron yung mga for client acquisition, parang ganon. Pero sa personal, mayroon na akong personal page naman na I launched na rin yung Ben Paglinawan page. Currently, meron na tayong nasa 3,400 followers if I'm not mistaken. And though ang focus naman natin is again OFW, as our audience kasi yun talaga yung isusupport natin right away. Pero syempre, the Filipino in the Philippines, yes, can benefit as well. Meron din pala tayong mga naging VAs dito na nagustuhan sila nung kanilang mga employer, nung client, dinala sila dito sa Dubai to work here. So, I mean, there are people naman that wants to still do work abroad. Isa pa rin yun. Again, this is stepping stone, Carl, no? Until they find themselves having their own. Ito yung mga, hindi naman agad talaga entrepreneur lahat. Pero, may calling yan eh. Pero ito yung mga stages eh. So you can be a VA na okay, mag-abroad ka din. Yun, I had a VA na napadala rito. Dalawa nga sila eh. Isa pinagtatravel lang dito and yung isa talagang inabsorb na siya nung company na full-time. Pinadala, sinagot lahat ng expenses niya, papunta dito. And
Ah,
yun. So may mga ganung success story tayo. And again, end of the day, they will find what brings joy to them siguro kung saan sila mas komportable. And I suggest siyempre everyone to assess. Every time do an assessment on your career kung saan ka ba talaga. And again, you will see that as you progress sa career mo and you'll find kung saan ka talaga. Ganon.
ayun. And para naman po sa mga ka-OFE natin na gustong magkaroon ng gantong business, how do you, bilang isang virtual agency na din, how do you manage the team members knowing they work remote? Kasi syempre, yun nga po yung topic natin kanina, may mga nagma-micromanage kasi may mga iba din na workers na sometimes talagang they get a hold of their time na sila talaga yung nagko-control. Pero, syempre po, as someone na talagang ikaw yung nag-handle ng mismong agency, how do you manage the team? Syempre, paano mo rin sila pinipitch dun sa mga clients? Especially they are working remote.
Oo, Cheska. Yung una, dun sa pagsisimula ng ganitong business, I think this is for everyone naman. And ang kinagandahan sa having your own agency, you can directly like present people na again for me kasi yun lagi na at least there is a helping hand lagi with everything you do. So pag form naman ng agency, just build your network. Yun lang. Keep building your network. Network so, aside from friends, syempre, network kung meron kang work ngayon, mga decision makers, let's say yung owner ng company, and you go beyond that. May mga clients ka, di ba? Try to, build more of that. Yung mga clients mo, as much as you can, aside from your current job, na sinusupport mo sila, try to build something outside that. And then, if you're really trying to start an agency, it's all about networks talaga. So you need to be well networked with those people. Kasi later on, those clients may require something, di ba, na kailangan nilang magpatulong. And again, that translate into a problem kasi yun eh. So if you solve that problem, that's what Carl said nga. Yun eh. Yung gaps, problems, that's business. So yun, for being an agency, for me, just build your network. And if you're already thinking agency on your mind, so while you're working, keep building lang. In LinkedIn, you can connect to people. So other networking sites, career-wise, then you can still, connect with people. Just keep building. And then later on, pag tingin mong you had enough connection and you're ready to do this agency, then you can now start approaching those people. And then on the top of that, then you can obviously explore, other reach out activities. But again, agency kasi more on networks. And second question mo naman about dun sa how I manage the team. So ako kasi I build everything in trust eh. I don't micromanage talaga. As much as I can talaga gusto ko output-based lahat. So I trained everyone
Mhm.
to be accountable. So whatever they do, if you want to relax on your whole
Yes.
shift, it's on you. You're accountable
Bahala
to
ka.
that. Bahala ka. Kasi ganun eh, di ba? Ako, there will be BAs talaga na sometimes um, parang there will be burnout times ka. Siguro, it's on you. Basta, you know what your task is. Ano ba yung kailangan mong ma-accomplish. And you're accountable to that. And then later on, end of the day, natapos mo yung task mo. For me, I'm enough for that. Like, I'm okay na. Again, it's different management style. But for me, I think how the company and the culture that we have here is accountability. That's how I manage the team.
Yes. Perfect.
And
Ayun. So,
isa pa pala,
very
sorry Chesca,
on point.
sorry,
Sure.
naalala ko lang bigla, yung about dun
Sure
sa,
po.
sabi kanina ni Carl, yung mga team building. So what I'm planning to do naman kasi talaga with Desert VA pa rin, ano, kasi gusto ko pa rin na kahit pa paano, magkaroon ng something, yung mga VAs, kagaya ng mga naging VAs ko
Celebration.
din. Meron sana at least ganun. Like kami lagi sila magkaka-zoom. Tapos
Mm.
they have this actually personal connections nila mataas. Tara nagkikita-kita sila. Meron silang may mga ganun. So I wanted to build that the same thing naman na later on when I'm planning to set up naman in the Philippines soon. Sa Naga ang gusto ko. I will start the talks na din with the government kasi with our mayor Lenny Robredo, she's very supportive to all
Mhm.
businesses. And I wanted to, of course, upload Naga City talaga with the tremendous work that they are doing right now there. And I also wanted to create a base pretty soon sa Naga City. And yon, siguro
Right.
yung hub na yon that can be like the pansol, of DAs. Parang gano'n. Siguro baka maging retreat hub na yung Naga for me. Parang gano'n. Kasi ang daming pwedeng gawin sa Bicol. Then maybe that can be your team building hub for my company. Parang gano'n. Pero hindi, magkakaroon ng office doon and that'll be the training center siguro. And magkakaroon pa ng, tawag dito, ng mga support for the BAs. I wanted them to be, gusto ko yung retention rate talaga mataas. Ayoko ng as much as I can, na kaya gusto ko i-retain yung talent, I will. And aside from that, I wanted to extend ahead, like medical assistance. So aside from, we're already on the talks on that, na parang magkaroon sila ng additional benefits on the top of what they're getting already. Kasi isa kami sa mga companies na nagbibigay din ng mga personal time off. Medyo mataas yung personal time off namin. Minsan
Mhm.
12 to 15 personal time off we're giving. And yung medical assistance as well, you get this reimbursement, magkasakit ka, yung mga ganon. So we're
Right.
still on, since we're starting pa naman, we wanted to develop the best for the VAs. God willing, lahat yon may sakatuparan and sana magkaroon pa tayo ng maraming clients. So we can extend the uh, the jobs to our fellow kababayans.
Yes, very spot on yung sagot mo dun, Sir Ben. So, maganda siya kasi at least yung mga co-FE natin, alam nila kung bakit maganda yung VA as resource and bakit siya super helpful sa isang company. Kasi syempre, super daming problems and syempre, savings na din na nare-resolve through sourcing VAs. And syempre,
Yes, yes.
nakakatuwa yung mismong agency nyo kasi yung Desert VA kasi nga, of course, hindi lang naman kayo yung nagbe-benefit pero nakakatulong kayo mostly sa lahat ng mga nag-a-apply na Pinoy, di ba? For that one.
Yes.
And alam ko talagang very, very deserving dito sa media feature. Pero pwede ba namin malaman tong media feature, what is all about?
Yeah, actually marami tayong mga magazines na nag-approach lately. So sobrang
Ay,
thankful ako with those interviews. Ito, meron to I think this is Dubai OFW. Sa mga they have 1 million followers sa Facebook and they got handful din sa
ay,
Instagram. And recently I've been interviewed with Global Filipino Magazine and that's laki-laki ng reach noon. Nagulat din ako kasi parang nung ni-launch nila yon, it's been shared. I think kanina lang nang chinek ko kasi may nag-notify eh. Parang nasa 3,000 plus likes siya and then parang 400 shares ata. Sobrang dami. So it's been very helpful For me, naman it's about excuse me, yung story ko kasi, it's also there. Hindi lang siya visible. Maraming similar stories tayo ng mga Filipinos na kagaya nung sa akin. Kaya nung in-invite nila ako for interview, I was like, yes, I want people to, or kababayans to see that, yeah, this is um good thing, that merong option for kababayans to be a business owners. So yun, as
Yeah.
pareho nung nung advocacy nyo, sorry ang lako ng water na tayo.
Okay.
Sure. Ayun.
And
So,
so
ang
habang
galing,
umiinom
no?
ng tubig si Ben, no? Sa mga aspiring, di ba, na VAs or aspiring virtual assistant, follow nyo yung pages ni Ben and look at Desert VA, paano nila minamanage yung business, paano nila pinipitch, ano yung mga services na ino-offer nila. So at least you're gonna be equipped of what is VA all about. And in this time of, in this era, meron na tayong additional kind of job or opportunity na hindi na katulad nung traditional employment na kailangan mo sa office, kailangan mong mag-relocate dahil sa trabaho. This is an opportunity na you do it in the comfort of your home. Diba?
Yes.
So yan yung beauty of VA. So I think Ben will add up more on that feature, and after that, I think Ben, you help us give our viewers or those aspiring VAs or entrepreneurs, ano yung pwede mong i-advise sa kanila?
Thank you, Carl. Ayun, ayos, nasamid tayo. Thank you ulit. Yung extend ko lang yung gratefulness ko dun sa Filipino communities natin. Una sa inyo nga actually dahil sa invitation nyo for me, and dun sa mga magazines that will be featuring pa na i-relaunch pa lang din naman nila. They're celebrating the success, 'di ba, and the story of the our kababayans. Hindi lang naman ako, marami silang na-feature doon. And it's not about me, it's about the journey and the story naman eh. And I wanted, of course, everyone to see na kaya naman natin. The Filipinos are well capable. Though, siyempre, ang culture natin sa Pilipinas talaga, lagi tayong workers lang. Di ba? Kaya nga sabi nga ni Carl, OFW, overseas Filipino workers, di ba? We wanted to change the landscape. If not change, but at least there is this option, di ba? Other options, other opportunities. Na hindi lang naman tayo laging trabahador lang or hindi masama yun, Carla. Hindi talagang di naman din pwede lahat business owners, hindi ganoon. Pero there are people that will be on that position, that will be carrying that torch to be a business owner and same time help other people then. So as Filipinos, we are well capable. Our education din naman, we shouldn't stop with our education like what happened to me, even though I'm not a graduate naman of a degree course. I'm still looking after that. Carl, next year I'm planning to take the degree. So I'll be doing that. Ang wife ko nga actually same ko. Nag-ano siya ngayon. Nag-study siya ngayon, and hopefully she will graduate soon in education. So ako naman next year I'm planning to do it, and I want sabi nga nila, diskarte, diploma. For me, it's both ways eh. And now I have that capability. Pareho eh. Hindi mo pwede talaga eh.
Mahirap siyang sabihin na isa lang dyan eh, di ba?
Hindi mo talaga pwede. Ang nagkataon lang kasi, kung ano yung available sa'yo by that time, make the most out of it. So if you're, if may magpaparal sa'yo, do it, tapusin mo. If you're capable enough to study, please do so. If hindi naman, whatever you have available on the table, make the most out of it. And just do more, kasi hard work talaga after that eh. Little bit of luck, pero talagang hard work, and you need to be a risk taker. Again, calculated risk. Kasi mahirap yung mag-risk ka lang talaga, risk lang, mahirap yun. So you need to think all the sides as much as possible. But yun, ang ano ko lang is, ano yung question mo ulit, Cheska? Yung last question mo?
Practical advice po natin when it comes to growing a business and syempre managing your time and energy as an OFD.
Ayun. Sa mga business owners naman, co-business owners, again, I'm not yet there, guys. So hindi pa startup pa rin naman tayo. And I want that from syempre dun sa talagang very, very successful na, been like 20, 30, 40 years in the business. Pero for me, I think my advice to those people na nagsisimula pa lang is to get, to get that support, um, emotionally. Financially is there, of course. You starting a business, of course,
Mhm.
you have financial, but the emotional aspect of it, spiritual, any support that you'll get from your friends, family, ipunin nyo yun. Kasi that's very, very important and that will keep you going eh. Minsan kahit na financially medyo, di ba, hindi ka na parang medyo mahirap minsan. Siyempre, mag-startup ka, Carl, maraming pera, palabas talaga lahat yan, alam mo yun. But there is these people that supporting you throughout the journey, collect those. And I think that's, for me, yun yung pinaka, learning ko personally. And invest in yourself na maging, try to be fit. Ako kasi I had been diagnosed ng type 2 diabetes, pero hindi pa naman siya talaga like malala, ganun. So I started
Mhm.
to take care of myself. Dapat pala dati ko pag ginawa yun. So similar to all business owners na wag puro trabaho, wag puro business, you check your diets, tapos alagaan niyo yung sarili niyo kasi at the end of the day, this is your, yung puhunan mo, yung katawan mo, yung isip mo, yung mental health mo. So as much as you can, strengthen those and then the rest will follow na. Again, the business is there, it will prosper regardless, pero yung sarili mo, alagaan mo dapat. So, yun yung pinaka, for me, late realization yun, Carl, na dapat pala, nag-invest ako na mas marami pa sa sarili ko when it comes to those things, health, mental, etc. But now I'm doing it, so that's not too late.
Well, again,
I lost
there's
some weight,
there's no
so
such
that's
thing
good.
as late, 'di ba? So
No,
especially
not
when
that.
it comes to health and when it comes to studying, 'di ba? Tulad nga tayo na nasa corporate world na nag-aaral pa rin tayo 'di ba? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
learning would never stop, 'di ba?
Yeah,
Kasi
don't stop, don't stop.
so that would be the phase also na you'll stop growing kung hindi ka na nagdadagdag ng learning, ng capabilities, 'di ba? So
Yes.
it's a continuous process na talagang for you to be visible in business or in employment, talagang kailangan mong mag invest sa sarili mo. And madalas ko talaga tong marinig sa mga entrepreneurs, lalo na sa mga naging guest natin dito, no, na talagang before you invest with something else, talagang you have to invest on yourself. Yun
Mm,
yung super importante. Kasi tulad nga ng sinabi ni Ben, ito yung puhunan mo eh. So paano kung mahina ka, hindi ka na makakakilos, di ba? So paano kung palagi kang stress? So paano ka makakapag-isip? Paano ka magiging creative? Paano ka makakapag-innovate, di ba? So talagang um, first thing to invest is your own talaga, your own self. And then once you grow on your own and once you're equipped, the rest ng gagawin mo is talagang, alam mo yun, madali na. Hindi man siya
yes.
like smooth sailing, pero at least you're confident enough to start or to do your plans or to do your business, 'di ba? So
Totoo yun.
ayan, so thank you very much Ben sa mga shinare mo, no? And again, hopefully sa mga nanonood ngayon is i-apply natin 'yon. And coming back, gusto ko lagi ko naririnig kasi about risk kasi yun nga most of the people who want to start business is they're always afraid of risk. And again, kahit na talagang gawin natin, there's always risk. And the biggest risk
Yes.
into that is not doing the risk. Di ba?
Yes.
Or not doing,
Yung
doing the business.
ang sabi nga nila, Carl, ang pinakamahal na word is yung sayang. Kasi
Yes.
pagka nagsabi ka, ay sayang, you missed that opportunity. If you took the risk, di ba? Yung mga what if natin, ano? Kasi what if, pag ano naman na yan, pag nandiyan yung outcome, no? It's either a yes or a no. Eh kung hindi para sa'yo, then at least you learn from it, di ba? But
Mm-hmm.
you took the risk. Again, it's a calculated risk. Ako yung lagi sinasabi ko kasi inuulit ko lagi yon kasi mahirap naman yung risk ka lang ng risk. Kasi may mga maapektuhan sa'yo. Hindi lang naman ikaw, yung nasa paligid mo. So yun, it has to be a calculated risk always. And add ko lang doon sinabi mo last time yung about sa learning. Ito yung isa sa mga, that keeps me grounded, that I keep learning talaga. Anyone, mataas man, mababa, that I talk about anything under the sun, I learned something and absorbing it. It keeps me grounded. Na hindi ko pala alam yun. Di ba? Hindi ko pala alam lahat. Di ba? And if you have that mentality, na natututo ka, ina-acknowledge mo na, oo, ang galing, ang ganda ng point na yon. You keep on learning, di ba? Hindi kayo nagbablock ng na parang ikaw lang yung tama in that
And
certain,
you don't feel or say to your own self na alam ko na yan or kaya ko na yan.
yes,
Diba?
yes.
So
Keep you grounded.
everyone na nakakasalamuha mo is talagang makikita mo na may matututunan ka sa kanila.
Yes, and absorb those. Again, hindi naman lahat i-execute mo. There are good, there are bad. Choose what suits you best. And from there, you will develop. Diba? You will develop into someone that's adaptable and trainable. Kahit na nasa position tayo in life, we keep on learning talaga. It will never stop. And don't stop acquiring knowledge in any perspective.
There you go. Ayan. So, thank you so much, Sir Ben. And of course, before we end, gusto po namin supportahan ikaw and syempre, most importantly, yung Desert VA, yung business nyo. So, eto po, you can plug all your social media pages. Ayan, business pages, social media accounts, or saan po namin kayo pwedeng mahanap?
Salamat, Jessica, Carl. Yun, so Desert VA, nasa Facebook kami. So Desert VA, search nyo lang. Ang LinkedIn namin, Desert VA, Desert Virtual Agency. So follow nyo lang din sa LinkedIn kasi doon tayo magpo-post ng mga jobs natin. Tapos email natin, kung may ready kayong CV, pwede kayong mag-send dyan sa connect@desertva.com or you can send it to careers@desertva.com. Ang note ko lang, hindi tayo active pooling, so meaning hindi naman laging may available na job for everyone. And pag nag-send kayo ng CV, it will go through our system. And pag may requirement tayo from clients, then we start contacting people. So limited naman lagi yung natin availability kasi depende sa dami ng clients natin, depende dun sa mga requirements nila. But again, if you send your CV, it will be in our system na. And we are promoting naman the mga hirings sa mga pages natin. Predominantly sa LinkedIn. So follow us on LinkedIn. And that's for the Desert VA. So we have a website there. And yung sa, naman, if you want to follow me, and Ben Paglinawan naman yung aking personal page or yung ating business page, and those will be more on business. And I'll start blogging na rin kahit ayaw ko siya kasi I've been being pushed I'm being pushed to do the vlogs. Not because, na in siya ngayon or whatever. It's just because you need mas madami kasing ma-educate Kasi ngayon, puro micro lang, Carl Talagang pag may tatawag sa akin, then I'm asking for advices, and kagaya ganito, may channel na ganito, at least I can share stuff. So I will start doing that. Naghanap lang tayo ng lakas ng loob, kasi hindi naman tayo laging nasa camera. So, inaano pa natin yung awkwardness. But yes, Ben Paglinawan page din sa Facebook, saka Instagram. More on Facebook kasi Facebook talaga it will be ay pinakamasa na mas madaling makakapanood yung mga kababayan natin. Mas madali siyang pakinggan. And YouTube as well, pretty soon I'll explore YouTube as well. Pero for now, Facebook, Ben Paglinawan and Desert VA. Yun lang. So sa lahat ng mga gustong mag-apply, watch out for the announcement. And syempre, we'll let you know then soon. Kasi kailangan talaga namin. Pag nangailangan kami, kailangan talaga. So I hope everyone will get a chance as well to kung gusto talaga nila mag-VA, to land their first VA job. Kasi pag nagkaroon na kayo ng first VA job nyo, regardless of which company or which client, magtutuloy-tuloy naman na yan. And later on, as the advocacy of OOFE, di ba, na you'll find yourself kung saan ba talaga kayo magsasettle. Magbi-business ba kayo? Or, you can be, again, hindi naman masama yun na you continue working. So yun. Thank you everyone. Thank you guys. Carl, Jessica.
So Ben, maraming salamat for
Thank
sharing your
you.
story and for sharing this kind of opportunity na talagang napapanahon. 'Di ba sabi nga natin everything goes through the internet na ngayon. I mean majority, 'di ba? So So sa mga nanonood, again, kung gusto nyo maging equipped or gusto nyo maging VA in the future, so follow their pages. And ayun, and yun, sa gagawing page ni Ben, make sure to follow his pages and social media accounts para matuto tayo kung ano nga ba tong opportunity na to, na which is hindi traditional kind of employment, 'di ba? Na pwede nating explore and everyone can be a BA. So muli, maraming salamat, and I just wanted to share a few takeaways dito sa story natin tonight, no. So laging nababanggit during the session, no, yung calculated risk. So again, tulad na rin ng sinabi ko kanina, everything that you do would always have risk. So it's up to you kung paano mo siya i-manage. But again, you have to plan ahead din bago ka mag-take ng risk. So again, katulad ng sinabi ni Ben, yung pinakamahal na word is sayang. So we don't want to keep on saying that sayang yung chances hindi natin ginawa. And there's no such thing as late for learning and for having another opportunity. So ayun, so thank you very much again, Ben, for sharing your story and for
Thank you. Thank you.
takeaways for everyone. And I think Cheska would add up into that before we end the session. And again, while Cheska is adding some takeaways, and nandyan yung mga social media accounts ng Desert BA that you can follow.
Yun. Actually, almost the same tayo, Tita Carl. Kasi, yun din yung natutunan ko talaga kay Sir Ben. Iba yung, risk appetite ni Sir Ben. Pero, always make sure to plan ahead and syempre, make sure it's a calculated risk. Kasi, medyo mahirap din na mag-risk tayo, especially sa panahon ngayon. Talagang, ang inflation, super, active. Pero aside from that, siguro yung isa din sa mga important na dapat i-take note din natin mga ka-OFE is to build our network, 'di ba? So sabi nga, may naalala akong quote, our success is connected to people. So wag mong malitin yung mga connections na nabibuild mo with other people, but instead, 'di ba, make the most out of it. Kung talagang kaya mong mag-build ng bridges and not burn, 'di ba? 'Yun yung gawin natin kasi it will help you, 'di ba? And syempre your future businesses as well. Ayun.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
So,
so much, Ruben.
Ganda nun, Cheska, di ba? So sa mga aspiring BAs, sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs, gusto nyong manood and balikan yung mga episodes natin, so don't forget to visit our pages. And you can see different stories, different approach, paano sila nag-start mag-business, paano nila na-come up yung business nila, and paano nila minamanage yung business, and how they build opportunities, katulad ni Ben, katulad ng Desert BA para sa mga kapwa nating Filipinos. Kasi 'di ba, tingnan mo si Ben, nasa ibang bansa but his priority, his resources is Filipinos, 'di ba? And believe tayo sa mga Pinoy. Talagang magagaling ang mga Pinoy. So keep supporting each other, and again, build and invest on yourself. So muli, maraming salamat, and sa mga ka-OFing mga nanonood, you can leave your comments and questions para sagutin ni Ben. So muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa inyo. Bye.
Salamat.
Bye. Thank you, guys.